During this current crisis, we have been working around the clock to increase our podcast and blog production to the highest possible level, knowing that every little bit of engagement counts. However, we're still limited in this effort due to budget constraints. As all of our work relies upon the power of donation, if you find this content of value, please consider supporting our mission so that we can continue our efforts.
Hi, I'm Lily. I'm from Myanmar. I based in Yangon. Now I'm volunteering in Sakai region. My background is I work as a documentary filmmaker and visual artist. So my first intention is I would like to do a documentary about what's happening in Sakai and in Mandalay. But now I'm volunteering. Yeah, I didn't have any chance yet to do the filming. Yes. Okay, like in my art practice, I mostly focus in kind of socially engaged art. Mostly I use different medium. I start my art practice as a performance artist. Then I like I change like I use camera as my medium, and then I start studying document filming. First, like my intention is I would like to use filming as a one of my medium, but like I found out that storytelling is one of the powerful tool to tell the to reach the to reach a lot of people. So then I start doing as a documentary filmmaker. So slowly by slowly, now I use different media, and also I really so much into in socially and kid art. So now I use different media. Yes. So I start my art practice as a performance artist. Then I extend like a camera as my medium, and then I start staring, filming. Then I realized that storytelling is the one of the powerful tools to express and to tell the story. So then like I jump into the filmmaker. So it's been almost more than 10 years I'm working as a visual artist and filmmaking. My was focused on kind of socially and like political situation, and how we respond and something like that. It's already interconnected with that. So that is my a little bit of my background. After that, like when I work as a documentary filmmaking, I have to deal with a lot of social problem and a lot of political situation in Myanmar. So it's really bring me into to understand and like, to explore more and what is happening in our country. So now I extend my medium to socially engaged art. I think like working together with the like people is also very important. So that is a little bit a bit about my background. Yes.
What do you define as socially engaged art?
Yeah, well, it's not sometimes like being an artist is I like we work alone. It's totally depend on our decision and totally depend on how we would like to create. When we work with the people, it's I would like to approach like how we can transform something through art, by engaging the people. So like it's not only about like creating art. It's about like we use art as a as a platform, like to do something transformation, to transform something. So like we took as a we are not the artist anymore. We took the role of facilitation. So we facilitate the situation or we facilitate the problem, and then we create something relate like a art form together with the community. So community they create themselves and then they tell their story by themselves. We are there to support them and to facilitate them what like a how the direction and like what's the what would be the like kind of what would be the product or something like that. Sometimes it's so much important like a to focus on the process during the workshop or something like that is rather than we are not so much focused on product. Like we also very care about the process, how we develop, how we deal with the problem, or how people change or how people transform, how we understand each other, something like that. So like I think this is a very powerful working together with the people. Yes, especially community, very vulnerable community. So that's why I'm so much into in this practice. Yes.
Right. And of course, after the military coup in 2021, the civic space and the art space really closed up and became very dangerous to occupy. So were you able to do much art after the 2021 coup?
No. No, like other artists, yes. Like it's been like almost 4 year I stopped like doing the exhibition because of like there's a no, I mean that we don't have a really good energy to do the exhibition, and there's a no reason to do the exhibition during this hard time. But like after 3 year, like oppressing yourself, like doing nothing or like not doing like kind of not doing art, not creating, it's really oppress yourself. It's really so difficult for me. Like last year, like when I start doing the visual art again, it's not about my hour. It's about like kind of really related with the um now I'm also like really interested in what is the new narration. Like we have been we grew up with the really like a kind of very bad narration. So like in terms of the religions, in terms of the politics, everything is we was brainwashed a lot. So like I what I was doing now is like relearning and then also trying to visualize what would be our like a new narration. So and then also I feel like I miss so much creative energy because of like most of the artists the same age like me, they leave the country. And then also there's a no freshness, like fresh and new energy in the gallery. This is just people are just doing the exhibition, but they like everything is very dark. So I was really missing the really like a creative people, creative energy, and the creative society. I think we lost that last 4 year. Yeah.
But you decided to stay.
Yeah. Yeah, I decided to stay.
Why is that?
I think it's important. I feel like it's important to stay. Whatever I got a chance, I was very privileged, like I still have a chance to go outside for a while. I mean, for 1 or 2 weeks or, 1 month or something like that. So it's really, made me fresh, uh, I choose to stay because it is important to stay. That's my personal feeling. Of course, if I have a life-threatening situation, I will leave the country. Leaving the for me is leaving the country is not the option. Like and then also the problem, if you leave the country, you will escape for a while the politics hard the situation from the Myanmar, but you were stuck into another country and another political situation. So I was thinking like okay, well, what's my intention, why, I would like to be the artist, or the reason why I would like to be artist, or the reason why I would like to do the socially engaged. And I was thinking a lot, like should I leave or should like not to leave. Then I decided not to leave, and then I feel like, of course, like there's a not we don't have a very good creative energy anymore in the country, but there's a still a lot of possibility we can what we can do. There's a lot of things, especially this hard time, as an artist, we witness a lot. I do as a filmmaker and visual artist, so like even though I cannot, if I cannot shoot, I still can witness all the suffering, all what we have been through, like up and down, all the emotion, how people are dealing. So this is a very like for as a person, it's really drain your energy. But as an artist, it's really good to learn. Yeah, that's why I stay.
That's remarkable. I mean, you're describing art as something more than you do, but something that you are really, especially at a time like this.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what is right and wrong, but like I think like that, and I stay. But it's difficult. I miss people. I miss society. I miss a lot of things. Like because of like it's like, oh, like whatever we meet, everybody drain, and we are talking the same thing. We don't have any fresh anymore.
Yeah, but you're trying to make fresh.
Yeah, as much as I can. Yeah, sometimes it feel like crazy.
Really? How so?
Yeah, no, it's like you're thinking, you're like, right, okay, like sometimes I feel like I'm looking for a reason to stay, no, because it's like it doesn't make any sense to stay, but like I need to find a reason, good reason to stay, trying to see the freshness within this darkness. Yeah,
Mhm.
so
There's, if you have the mind and the spirit of an artist, there's always something fresh to find, right?
yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
So let's talk about the 7.7 magnitude earthquake that hit last week. Where were you when it hit, and what did you decide to do after?
Oh yeah, like I was in Yangon, and also I didn't include me. We didn't realize that that is that serious earthquake. So, but when we opened the online, then we realized that Mandalay and Zagai is really, 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 like bad situation. So like this that was my for me that was my first time I'm seeing like kind of I'm seeing my own country like, oh, this is look like another country, because we don't have that kind of experience before. So I don't know what to. I didn't know what should I do. I'm just checking every day, and then looking for the way. What should I do? So and then I inquire like, okay, all the best. Like what the road is open or not, or we can go to the Mandalay or not. Like so one. So it took me 2 days. I was preparing to come to the Mandalay and the guy. I was thinking before I was thinking, okay, I should do, like this is the very normal thing. Okay, you have to document. This is very important. Something is really, really something bad thing is really happening there, and then we don't know, like if the war know about us or not. We are not sure about that. So I bring all. I came to the Manali first. Then like um it's still very challenging to use the camera. I don't know how people use the camera. I saw a lot of video file uploaded from the mainstream media. So like for me, like as an independent documentary filmmaker, it's difficult to shoot. Obviously, so you have to be very careful. Um, then when I got the chance to come to the Zagai, so I took the chance. So now I'm in Zagai now.
So you're a documentary filmmaker and an artist, and both of these are visual mediums. These are with a documentary, you're capturing where you put the camera and how you're trying to place it and what happens in front of it. And with an artist, you're just creating a whatever kind of scene to impart to people. But we are on an audio podcast, and so your normal mediums of expressing yourself are not available now. So I want to ask you through the audio medium, because the only way that you can impart what you experienced and what you saw is through your words and emotions and descriptions and colors. And so I want to ask you through the audio medium to try to create an imagery that will, an immersive imagery that will bring our audience into the experience that you found in the Sagaing Mandalay region.
Mm. Yeah, it would be very difficult for me, to express. So I will try my best. Um, the first time, mm, so I feel like it's like a movie, it's really disconnect with what I know about Mandalay because of that. It's seeing the like that like kind of very all the a lot of collab, like all the building are collab. Most of the building are collab, and then also the people, and also we have to be like asleep on the street, and then the car are driving, and also at night, like the small arcade is stay coming, like a small arcade stay coming, and also whatever, I try to talk, I try to observe, and I try to interview what happened, and to the community. That sometimes, like they stay panic wherever they hear the sound, or they like kind of like something like the quick 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 or something like that, and then they are very ready to run away, or um, they're they got shocked, and then also the way they respond is also, like it's come from the shock, like also this is really uncomfortable to see it. And also when I joined the one of the recruiting, to like to shoot. Then when whatever, I they drive around the collab building, so I can smell the like a really bad smelly. And also the face of the people, they look so tired, and the situation is very complex. And yeah, that's I slept only one night in Mandalay. Then I came to the Zagai. So before I came to the Zagai, there's a lot of humor on the Facebook. You were had the yeah, Zagai is the whole city was destroyed, and then there's a lot of like a building was destroyed by earthquake. But like on the Facebook, people are talking about, okay, when you go to the Zagai, you will smell the dead body, and like there's a nobody coming to help them, and blah blah blah. And then we don't know why we trust that, and then we came to the Zagai. Then the situation is not like that. I mean, it's have been when I arrived to the Zagai, it's have been like kind of like a 4 day after the earthquake. So it's over like a like golden time for to recruit, right? So like people are, there's a lot of donation camp, and like um we our country have that problem since whatever. Okay, like we don't have a good government, we don't have a good system. Whatever something happen like that, so people have to the people. So because of we don't have a good system, everything sometimes there's a lot of waste happen. People don't know where to donate, and then also there's a or people don't know who is the victim, and who is the affected, and there's a no focal person we can go and inquiry. So that's a situation really complex. But monastery and church and mosque, they are like a kind of the like a community base. People come and like meet and talk, and like we can be there. We can base on the monastery, we can base on the mosque, and we can base on the kind of community center. And then we start inquiry where we should donate or something like that. So that is what is happening now. Yeah. Oh, like I cannot say the whole community, like because of like now I'm staying in monastery. I go together with the monk, and like they are volunteering. So like there's a limitation. I can go, and then also I have like I met with one of the organizer from the moose. Also, we only have a few time to talk, and like to inquire what they need. I
Sure.
cannot say from my side, but they are working each other, I think, from my point of view. you know, like what
Mm.
me and like the man, we went to the mosque, and then we talk and we inquiry what they need, because there's a lot of people dying in the mosque, and then we would like to support something. So yeah, something like that. When I talked with the organizer, the leader from the mosque, and then he said like he also preparing for all the people, not only one community, For example, we will donate to the solar, and then the people can and charge out their phone. So the electricity is one of the main problem in here. So like he will open for every community, so something like that. So I don't know in exactly, but they are helping each other as much as they can. Yeah.
Right. So you're doing a couple of things there. You're providing humanitarian service,
Yeah.
and you're also documenting it. You're bearing witness, and you're documenting what it is you see and what the experience is. So I'd like to break down those two different tasks. If we start first with the task of providing humanitarian relief,
Mm.
is this something you've ever done before? And what exactly are the humanitarian needs, and how are you filling them in the wake of this disaster?
Okay, like my first intention is, okay, I would like to do the documentation, and then I joined to the donation group. And then when the first day when they distribute all the donation, I realized that it would be good to encourage, like to do the like like to inquiry what they really need first. Then we ask the donation. That would be more effective. So that's why, like since I have to be here, so I jump into that role. So I go to the different place and I inquire what they really need. Apart from the what that, because like donate the donor, they brought, like they brought whatever they want, and then they send to the here, and sometimes it's like overload. Like people really don't need that, and then there's a lot of, I saw there's a lot of waste here. So um that's why, like I jumped into that role. Now I didn't have any chance to do the documentary. I'm just observing, like what's really happening. And like also now it's in here, it's difficult to shoot with the big camera. You can only use with the phone if you want, because it is so risky. It stay risky, because I don't want to take any risk yet, because I'm stay observing. So like from my observation, now they have from my point of view, and like they have enough water and the food for 1 month, I think at least 1 month. So that's a other thing they really need it, but nobody asked them, and then also nobody donate them. So something like that, like there's a lot of, because we don't have a good system, and nobody is organizing really well. So yeah. We need the like a kind of the community leader, who really organize in their own place, and then to manage what they really need. If not, like that donation, the flow of the donation is like, I don't know, is this affected or not? I'm not sure about that. Yeah.
Mm. How dire and challenging are the conditions that people are living in that you're finding? And then for you personally, I don't know if you've ever encountered anything like this before. How has it been for you to walk into a situation like this?
mm. I had experience, like same like I mentioned before. I'm working as a documentary filmmaker, so you have to deal with the different society in different layer and different level. And also I'm working as a socially engaged artist. Me, I have to deal with the different society as well. For example, I have to work with the Islam community, so I had that experience before a little bit, not kind of donation part. But when in the last 2 months, I think like when we have floating in Lille, I also participate small part for the donation. Since then, like I realized that there's something I don't know how to manage properly, not to waste the donation. I don't know, but this time I I jumped into that role, and then I'm looking for the best way, as much as I can, what would be the best solution for both sides, because the community still need a lot of help, but like how can we help effectively, and all. like how to manage. I don't know yet, but I try my best. Like yesterday, me and a man, like we went to the different place, and then we asked them what they really need, and then we make a list, and then we talk to the donor, and then they donate, and then we bring that thing to the community place, something like that. That's what I am doing now. And I really wish, like it would be really good if we have a good community leader on the ground who can tell what they really need. Then we can work together properly. Yeah.
Now, the second thing that you're doing is documenting this, and you have a background in documentary filmmaking. And so, what are you trying to document? What are you finding that is coming into the lens that you're wanting to portray?
Yeah, that's just I don't know yet, because like
Mm,
like, like first, like my imagination is quite different, right? So this is the very,
hmm.
like the guy is kind of the dark area, right? So and then there will be the something, like there will be a lot of things will be happening. But like when I arrive here, so the situation is not the same. you know all I can do is I'm observing now what would be the best story, or what would be the best perspective to tell what is happening and what was happening. So I'm still looking for my perspective on that. What would be the best story? Or my first idea is, okay, I would like to shoot about this disaster, like this is really bad thing, and then but in reality there's a lot of limitation. So now I'm still wait and see. I'm observing, kind of like I'm doing research, and like all I can do is I witness all the things. So that's all I can do. I still don't know what would be my story idea. But one thing, yeah, no, like one of the thing I really interested now is local like a recruit team, and then also all the volunteer who are really putting their effort to help them. For example, now I'm living with them in the monastery. I saw like the the monk, like they offer labor, they offer the car, they offer their effort and their like connection, like to support this donation, something like that. For example, in the Moose community as well, like they are self-organizing, they are trying to solve their problem by themselves. So that kind of diversity is also interesting. And then also I really appreciate the local recruit team, like because of they don't have experience like that. I mean, like that kind of bit awkward, or like that kind of they don't have like a proper equipment or proper team to solve the problem. But like they put all their energy and their heart, like to save the people as much as they can. So that's really interesting for me, and I really appreciate them. So that would be, I think that would be my story idea. Or yeah.
Mm, right. And then there's also a danger to going out because the military is
Yeah.
arresting and conscripting those volunteers. Did you find that danger being present while you were there?
Yes, yes, yes. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. That's for sure. That's why also I'm waiting. Um, like on the street,
Hmm.
especially last 2 day ago, I think there's a UN like a world food program or something like that. They are distribution. They are doing the distribution. They like some food and water and something like that. So I saw a lot of like a volunteer, police volunteer, but not every day. Only one day. There's a lot of police volunteer are showing off. And then also, do you know Pew, right? There's a kind of, do you know Pew Sortie? I mean, a group of the,
Yes, yes, but
oh yeah, yeah.
they're the junta aligned militias. Yeah.
Yeah. They are around on the city, and they are very rude, even to the monk. So like you can imagine, like this is the very dangerous. I mean, yeah, of course you can use the phone. It's okay, but like to dealing with that is it's not. It's really really bad situation, I think. Yeah.
So have you found yourself in a situation of danger in your trip?
Yeah, like the first day, the first night, this is my fault. That was my fault. I'm very careful with my camera, but I don't know why. Like I use my tele lamps that night because I would like to shoot the one of the collab bidding, and then the recruiting are walking, and unexpectedly, they stopped me, and then they asked me, do you have a permission or blah blah blah, like they can arrest me for like electronic law or something like that. So it's like, okay, okay, that's it. So and then I stopped filming. Yeah. So and then I don't use my big camera anymore. I use only my phone now, and then I'm still wait and see.
Have there been any things about this trip that have surprised you that even in reading about what was expected or having your own notion about what you may find, has there been an experience that has or an encounter that has
It's
surprised you?
because of people. Like when I arrived Mandalay, it's like people are like a going. Mm, I mean, the energy, the environment is collapsed. Like the energy is bad, really bad. But like people are keep going here and there, and look like, yeah. A lot of people are on the street, so that's what I mean. And I was that was surprise. Yeah,
There's a lot of people living on the
yeah.
streets. Yeah, and I've heard that there's no there hasn't been the development of any plan for temporary housing, not certainly not by the military, not by foreign
Yes,
aid organizations, not by
yes,
local communities,
yeah.
because they're really unable to, and so there's a concern that there's just massive displacement and there's no real plan in place for what's going to
Yeah, yeah,
happen
that's
next.
true. Like people have to manage by themselves, uh, because there's a no shelter, there's a no, like no plan at all. They have to make by themselves. That's why the humanitarian support is needed. Yeah.
Right. And what have you seen in the way of large scale humanitarian efforts? I mean, you've mentioned that there's no leader and that you would like to see more of a leading presence. I don't know if anyone can be a leader
Yeah,
with
there's a no
the
leader, but
risks that come with the military presence. What comes from what you've seen on
okay,
the
we have to
ground?
wait and see. We have to wait.
Yeah, what
we
comes
need to we need
next?
to wait. Like what we are talking about now is, okay, now we will wait and see for 1 month, and let's see what would be there. Well, like after 1 month, because of this, and now it's kind of panic donation. I will wait and see for at least, like a few weeks. Then, like that would be the so we will be more clear what we should do next, because of like
So,
we yeah, yeah, go ahead.
so you're planning to stay there for some time.
Yeah, like yeah, sometime. And we also I also wait and see, like what should I do, or what can I do, or what do they need, or like what would be the next, or something like that. Yeah.
Uh-huh, right. Now, you've traveled a little bit around the area. Can you tell us about what you're seeing in the different cities and towns and some of the differences in terms of the challenges and the destruction?
Hmm. Like yeah, I'm work together with the monk, and then also it gave me a lot of chance to see different place around the Zagai region. So especially the Nam, they have more difficulty now. They got a lot of like a donation, like a intent, or like a food and rice, and like water, they got it. But also they have to line up, like when the donation come, they have to line up. And there's like a big monastery. It's no problem for them, because of the donation come to the monastery. But for the like individual nun and individual man, they have more difficult, because of if like they are not famous, and they don't know how to get the donation. And like they whatever the car stop, like they line up, and then like they ask for the donation. So this is not a good thing. The nun and the man need to be lined up, and it is not also the good solution to do so. So I was surprised, because like in Zagai is very religious place. There's a lot of nam and a lot of men in here. So I saw that. And then also because of we don't have a organizer and we don't have a proper like a I don't know proper data, like how where to donate or something like that. So I saw a lot of when the car store, a lot of people come and they pick it whatever they want. If they need or not, they just take it. So like it's not about nobody fault. For me, it's nobody fault because we don't have a system. People need it, and then they grab it. So that is what I saw. And then last a few days, 2 days, I went to the different place, and then I decided to ask the focal person. I asked who is the focal person and what do really really need now, because everybody realized that they have a food, they have a water, and the people are keep donating the same thing. So
Uh
like
huh.
yeah, so it's like it's for them, it's a lot like for now, no, not for the 2 or 3 months. It's for now. They have a lot of food and a lot of rice and a lot of like a water already, but people are keep donating the same. But they need different things. For example, they need the multivitamin. They need something for their heart, and like they are to calm their mind, and some medicine. It's quite different what the people donate. So what they need, and so I encouraging them, like what they need. So it's really, I think, helpful, because they are also so happy because of we came and asked what they need. So and then we got a chance to donate what they really need. So I think it's working. And then and then I don't know, like we need to talk, like for example, for the emotional support. I think like if we talk with them, like it's really, it help them for the emotional support, I think. So that's from my observation. And also it's still difficult to get the data. Like we cannot count on a lot on the Facebook. That is the one of the thing. People are posting a lot on the Facebook, and then we don't know about the local situation. Because so we sometimes we looking for the data from the Facebook. So sometimes there's a lot of like a kind of misleading. There's a lot of misleading data there.
Yeah.
So we have to be double check. Like so it's really good for my friend. Like because I'm here, because if they would like to be clarified, or they would like to get what they really need. Like I can support them. That's the one reason why I'm here. Like so I'm taking the two different role. So I feel like before we donate, I think we should do the like a assessment, like what they really need. Then we can work properly. And sometimes people still don't know what they need sometimes, because of like the food and the water and the shelter is the main problem right now, for now. But after that, the rest, they really don't know. When I ask them what they really need, and then it's still they really don't know what they need sometimes. Yeah.
So what I hear you describing in general is a kind of breakdown in order, and that's understandable that a terrible disaster has
Yeah.
happened. The normal order of things, the normal security and safety of one's home, and where to sleep and where to eat, and loved ones, and medicine, that these things are all disrupted. And you've given a number of examples of, from wayward monks and nuns that are simply looking for how they're going to get their food, where the donation is going to come, to
Yeah.
needing a leader to organize things, the needs assessment. It sounds like one of the major threads you're seeing and you're noticing
Yeah.
is just this breakdown of order, and everyone kind of looking. I mean, as human beings, we have this innate expectation that things work a certain way, and we understand the way that system should work, and we follow along with it. And that system is so broken down that it
That's
sounds like
true.
everyone is
True.
looking somewhere else for what new system comes back up to be able
Yeah.
to provide that sense of security and order.
That's true. Whatever I do the assessment, like I was angry. Okay, this is what government have to do there. This is
Of
the
course, yeah.
like whatever I whatever I'm meet them with them, whatever I did the kind of assessment. Oh my God, this is not our job. This is the what government have to do there. It's really sad. Like to witness all the thing. And also one of the heartbroken thing is like in in 2019, I think since 2019 they already knew that the alcohol will come, and then they did some practice how to manage how to manage like that kind of like a disaster. They already, like we already knew that, but because of this political situation, like there's a lot of priority, right? So there's no one talking about the alcohol anymore. Now it's happened, even though we already knew that there's no system, no prevention, nothing. It's it's so bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and what you're saying, it reminds me. We had a guest a few days ago, Theory, and she was speaking about how Myanmar people are used to the fact that they have to organize things for themselves that any government anywhere would. I mean, things like how to have electricity in their town, or how to manage
Yeah.
education,
Yeah. Yeah.
or health, or how to have the roads that roads that one is able to travel down. Just simple infrastructure and utility kind of information that most countries take care of. And what you're describing is really aligned with Theory's criticism and concern, this sense that after anywhere in the world a disaster happens, there is a breakdown of order and rules. That's the nature of what a disaster is.
Yeah.
Last year, the fires in Los Angeles, or we can go to other examples in other countries where recently where there's been some kind of natural disaster, that order is broken down, and that's scary and that's uncertain. But then you have an authority that comes in, and that tries to establish that sense of, this is where you go to sleep and to get medical, and
Mm.
this is the law is still in effect, and this is how we'll enforce the laws, maybe a curfew or something. And what you're describing is, I mean, this is what the state should be doing. And
Yeah.
we'll get to what the military is doing in a moment. I think many listeners already know the real vile role the military is playing. We could say one thing the military is not doing
Mm.
is reestablishing this sense of order and this sense of security and
Mm.
structure. That is definitely, if anything, I think their actions are probably further destabilizing the situation. And so normal people that have no background in, I mean, this is a specialized field of
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
You have to learn from the sketch. Like you have to learn. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, so I'm just angry. Yeah. No, no, no. Like you're right. Like people just jump into that role, and then like they try their best. But it's not like that. This is a very like you have if you have like a special skill, you can manage a lot. And then also again from my observation, even though normal people would like to do properly, maybe they stop. They are threatening, they are showing off. Like they didn't allow to do so properly. So like it's for me it doesn't make any sense, because of there's a like a from my observation, like there's a lot of thing I can see, like okay, this is the okay, this place should be the like a humanitarian center, people should gathering here, and then so donation can come here, and then we can manage very systematically. So there will be there, we can manage also the waste, and something like that. Even though we saw that, oh, okay, this we can do like that, we can do like this, but there's a lot of limitation. Like even though it's difficult to cross the bridge mentally to Zagai, why? Like it doesn't make any sense. They stopped. They like also they are not educated at all. It's so annoying. Like so even though normal people know how to do it, like they are really really distraction. Yeah. Mm.
That's right, and that's not in a position that any people should be in. And again, to make matters worse, it's not only the situation that the people have to self-organize and reestablish order without any background in really how difficult this is to do for even a professional. That not only do they have to do this, but as I mentioned before, the military is not only are they not providing stability, but I imagine that they're a destabilizing force. So can you talk a bit about the military force and just the challenges of trying to organize support and community with the military's presence and the Pusati as well. What role you
I'm
see
not
them
so
playing?
much observing them, so that's why I don't know. But in the in I have a one experience, like when we went for the assessment. So one of the place is called like a Yanai, like kind of quarter or something like that. That's one of the group. We when we inquire to them, okay, how many home is collapsed, and how we can connect them. So so to inquire them, we need to talk with the Pusoti and we need to talk with them. So like a like for me, okay, I don't want to work with them. So and then we skip that place. So something like that. Yeah. So we don't want to, from my personal feeling, I don't want to deal with them. Like like if I am like a humanitarian professional, maybe I have to work for everyone, no? I have to deal with all the situation because no, I don't want to work with them. So and then I skip that place and then I carry on the next something like that. Yeah. And I saw a lot of disconnection with the even though I saw a lot of like a police volunteer, they are really disconnect with the like a citizen. I think they are kind of one of the group in the city. They are all their own, and the citizen are working by themselves or something like that. I feel something like that. Maybe I will also have a virus to observe them. Yeah.
I know that the Mandalay Sagaing region, this is an area really rich with Burmese Buddhist monasteries and nunneries, and these were especially hard hit. What are you noticing about how monks and nuns, monasteries and nunneries, how they're
For
faring?
example, now I'm now in my in now I'm staying in monastery like I said before. So like they are working like as much as they can to help the people, and then also they had a really concern about the like other like a very like a kind of not popular monastery, like they have a lot of concern. And then we went there and then we inquiring. So like they are trying their best, I think. And also the nun is also, they also have a lot of challenge because of there's a lot of building collapse, a lot of monastery was destroyed, and like they don't know where to stay. And also they also have to sleep on the street as well. Yeah. And
Mm.
yeah, and people are mm, keep doing what they have to do. And also one of the surprise because of now they cannot code, right? They have to wait donation for every meal. So I don't know how long it will take. uh yeah, now it's like only a few weeks before the like after the earthquake. So people are very like a panic donation. So there's a lot of donation camp, and they still don't need to code. But after that, what will be happen, we don't know. So that's what we concern. Okay, how should we sustain to support them, because it will take a few months, I think, to recover. Yeah. Eh? I don't have
Yeah, the
yeah.
the question you just posed of what happens after a couple months. What's your own thought about that?
Actually, I don't know. But what?
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. We know that will be there
Mm.
some difficulty, another difficulty, but we don't know what will be happen. But one of the concerns is we really hope there will be the not another like a shocking event in Myanmar. I think, because after
Goodness, yeah.
yeah. If not, it will be overload and overwhelmed again. We cannot help each other anymore. You know, now we stay. Like focus on the Zagain and Mandalay. We can keep focusing on that. Whatever they need something or they need some emergency. Like even though we won't have a panic donation, but we still will have some system. I think so. and and one of the beautiful thing with the international recruiting is like maybe you also saw a lot of like a beautiful Facebook post, like how Burmese people really appreciate to the international recruiting, kind of Vietnam and like Thailand. They have a like kind of like a communication each other. I think this is beautiful. Yeah, from the like their relationship with the citizen is also very beautiful. I think. Yeah.
I was going to ask actually about the international presence, because another thing is that normally in a massive disaster taking place, anything from the tsunami in Japan, the earthquake in Haiti, earthquake in Turkey, et cetera, there usually is an international force that comes to help the country that's really been sieged by these terrible stream of events. I think the one exception in recent history we can think where that didn't happen was in Myanmar. It was
Mm.
2008 Cyclone Nargis. Famously,
Mm.
very little international aid came, and that's a natural disaster and response that we refer back to when thinking about the earthquake. And then compounded of this, of course, we have the complete dismantling of U.S. aid that has
Mm.
happened alongside. And we spoke a couple days ago with Chris Milligan, who
Mm.
was the who launched the inaugural USAID mission from 2012 to 2016,
Mm.
described that in detail. And so this is another layer of complexity and difficulty that makes this situation even more abnormal. I think disasters anywhere are abnormal. Disasters are a disruption by definition. They are a disruption, but
Mm.
this is a disruption that has several layers of further disruption on top of it. And so I'm wondering, have you come across any individual foreign volunteers or foreign organizations, or any international help of any kind in your experience there?
Oh, okay. Like only within my social cycle. Like there's a international friends are like a collecting
Mm,
the money, and they are doing like a fundraising and to help us. Like as a friend. Individually they are doing that. And also there's some like a international organization from Thailand. They are doing the fundraising, so like they are doing like kind of like a small activity, like they are supporting us. Yeah. Yeah, from my experience, yes, from my social cycle, yes, they are doing like kind of like a small fundraising and to support and to do the solidarity with us. Yes. Yeah, but for the
mm,
I don't know so much about the big agency like UN and what they are doing, or how they are managing and where the money go, because of like that kind of like a when you have to work with the G2G is the problem, no? It's like
mhm.
so like since like there's a lot of corruption within the military, and then we also have a really bad experience in the Nugget. I don't have experience in the Nugget, but from my friend, they have a really bad experience. How they managed and then how they took the profit from the Nugget, and then like how the humanitarian, like w- humanitarian is really like have a bad experience in Nugget. So people are really worried about that. When you donate to the military, when you work together with the military, there will be a lot of waste. Like it will be so difficult for the people like to reach people who really need that. That is the not the new. This is the old pattern like always. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I also want to ask you. You're an artist, and I
Mhm.
think you know well with art there is a breakdown between the observer and the observed, and the subject and the object, and that there's this relationship that binds the two together. And you are you are going there to document and to experience and to help the
Mm.
conditions that are occurring, but you are not you as the observer are not a stable entity that are being unaffected by what you're
Mm.
experiencing. And so um, this might be too early to ask, but I'm wondering if this experience has changed you, and if so, how has this started to change you?
So you mean it that situation changed me? Or
Yeah, have you changed also with the situation?
I don't want to say like I like that situation changed me. It's not like, but I jump into the situation. This is my like a fully first time, I think, you know. Like before, you know, like I mostly stand as an observer and I'm documenting, and you know, like not so much into it. But now I'm jumped into the situation, you know. Yeah, that's what I change myself, because I like we have to do something. We should do something properly. I think we cannot stand beside, and you know, like that's why, you know, I took a lot of role, you know, as much as I can, you know, like it's something I can helpful. It's good, you know. Yeah, someone should do something. Yeah, at least, you know, we having a lot of problem all the time, you know. Like if you all the situation actually is overwhelmed and overload, you know. I'm from my from my experience, like we cannot digest one emotion and then another emotion come, so we are not finished
Really?
digest one and another emotion come, so it's overwhelmed and overload and we don't even know how to feel. And for me, you know, it's so confusing. And I had my personal problem I'm dealing with that, it's not finished, you know, another problem come. So like what I am doing is how to deal with the situation. That's all I can do, you know. It's not change or not. It's, you know, like the situation change or no. I'm not sure about that. We change. Everybody forced change since the coup, you know. We if we don't want to change or not, we all change, you know. Yeah.
But you've made a series of conscious choices to be in those situations. I mean, you chose to stay in Myanmar when you could leave, and then you chose to go to Mandalay Sagaing
Mm.
when you know, knowing the challenges that lay there. And so you've also really consciously chosen to land in these challenging and difficult situations as well.
Yeah. I don't know why. I keep doing like this. I becoming like this. I don't know why exactly. Sometimes, you know, I was asking myself why I'm doing this. Yeah.
Do you have an answer? Do you have an answer of why you're there, why you're doing that?
Yeah, like I'm very clear about why I'm stay. You know, like I choose
Yeah.
not to leave. That's my choice. But for that to jump into the situation is like, you know, like maybe somehow I have a gate. You know, like gatey. You know, yeah. So that you know, like that's what we carry along most of the time. And also I'm really interested into the transformation theme, you know, like what would be the best transformation. um what is the best way to transform that old narration, old narrated what we have been through. So
Hmm.
like most of the time I carry with me. It's not only as an art, you know, like creating the art is also kind of, you have to do a lot of refreshing, you know, you question a lot, you know, like kind of the what's the human code to be here. So like maybe this is also really drive me to jump into the situation. I like to be with people, you know. That's why I became the documentary filmmaker. And maybe I'm interested in socially engaged. I like to be with people, I think. Yeah.
And so you're trying to find a new narrative from the old past existing narratives. What kinds of narratives are you landing on?
Well, like I'm still looking for it. Of course, you know, like I have an idea of like I'm start exploring ecological dimension, and you know what would be the solution to solve the problem. And you know, I'm trying to connect with the nature. You know, that's a kind of all the ideology I'm start exploring. One of the thing is like really deep down, in the deep down, I have the feeling of like kind of separation. You know, like separation from everything is really you know, like I really would like to transform into like a from my personal level to like a kind of different level. So what I am trying to do, not only in my art practice but also in the like in my life as well, is kind of trying to reconnect with reconnect with my mind and body, and reconnect with my a lot of things. First thing is like I would like to reconnect with the nature, and then I really would like to know what would be the best answer, you know, to solve all the problem. No, for me, it's so boring to stay as like a victim. the whole life is so boring,
Hmm.
it's too
Hmm.
much. Why, we have to stay like a victim, I was born in that country, being the female, and then, like very political hardship, and then, all this is narration, it's the narrative is overload and overwhelmed, it's really shaping me the way I grew up. Why should I
Hmm.
stay like this all the time, the rest of my life? Why do I need to stay like that? That's I already had that kind of question, so that's why I'm key looking for the what would be the best answer to escape from that. So live, like a meeting with the very good people, like-minded people, talking with who really care about the soul. I really longing to meet these people, and I'm really longing what would be the best way to escape from all that shit. Talking about
Hmm.
victim is like talking about the sister, talking about the country politics, talking we can talk a lot. That's what we did like since I was young. We grow up under different kind of oppression. Why should I need why should we still need to live like that? We should find something, we should do something to change, or we should have something alternative way to do something. That's what I'm already thinking. I mean, that's most of the time I carry with me. Yeah.
So what did it take to break out of the victimization model and mode of thinking and to find your own agency and to break through?
Well, I think it's like it's I don't know, like we was treat like a victim all the time, I think, don't you? Don't you think?
Who treats you like a victim?
I feel like everyone. Like what about,
Yeah.
okay, like for example, like like this is also a good identity conflict, I think. I grew as a woman, in very very patriarchy society, and then
Uh-huh.
you would like to be the artist and very open, and like
Uh-huh.
I grew up as a conservative female, and then would like to be the open myself, so it's like an internet conflict all the time inside me. And then
Uh-huh.
also, yeah, like and then also whatever I went to the abroad, like I don't know other people experience. Maybe, like the way I grew up, where I'm coming from, like how we grew up, what I have been through is also like most of the time is like kind of victimized, you're like as a kind of the victim, um so I don't like that feeling, from yeah.
Now there's a lot of devastation and destruction in Myanmar. I mean, there's obviously the earthquake and the devastation caused by a 7.7 magnitude
Mm,
earthquake that's hit, and the lack of aid that's coming through. But this is also a place that's had over 4 years of airstrikes, which have continued in places that have been hit by the earthquake. After the earthquake hit, the military has continued to bomb. You can go on and landmines and all the ethnic strife and tensions and conflict that have taken place. And this is devastating. This is really tragic. And yet there are some Burmese that have come on this platform and that have indicated that they also see, as tragic and as painful as this is, that it does present the opportunity to build something up in a different way than was
mm,
before. There is the possibility of a rebirth, of a new start, of
mm,
a new era. And we've had outsiders on the program come on and speak about how, if Myanmar gets this right, I mean, they're going to be a beacon for the world. They're going to be a beacon for humanity to show what's possible in coming out of the shadows into another way of being. These are kind of artistic perspectives and ways of looking at, almost like allegorical or metaphorical, this kind of metamorphosis and transformation. But
mm,
I'm interested in asking you this question because you're on the ground. I mean, you're really interesting in this intersection of, you have an artist mind, but you're on the ground doing humanitarian restructuring, needs assessments, and coming to a system that's broken down and trying to help and establish, and figure out how to help. And so when you bring your artistic sensibility to the rough humanitarian work that you're provided, is there any part of you that thinks like maybe we can do this over again and do it right this time? Maybe we can build something better this time. Is do you ever find yourself having that perspective?
Of course, definitely. Definitely. You're so kind. That's, like, uh, yeah, like that's what we believe, like we would like to bring something different, not to repeat the same pattern, not to repeat the same history. Why don't we need to waste our energy on that old pattern and old history and all the thing what we have been through almost like a generation by generation. So for me, from my perspective, like for my like a one human scale, that's the if we can bring very carefully, there's a lot of possibility we can bring like together again. We can bring the like a we can rebut again and again with the um like a new, I mean, new narration or new society, but that is not this ideologically is so beautiful to think like that. It's so
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
But in
Yeah.
particularly, of course, there's a lot of like kind
Yeah.
of yeah,
Well, that's where the ideological meets the
yeah,
kind of practical, which
yeah.
is a little boring. I mean, let's be honest. There's a little bit of Excel sheets and graphs and numbers and everything else,
Mhm,
and so that's where the kind of the heavy lifting of the practical has to
mhm,
meet the ideological and the hopeful.
mhm, mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, but yeah, at least we have an intention, no? I think this is where good to start. I feel like that, like if we have some intention, like to change or to transform or to rebrand or to reconnect or whatever it is, if we have some intention, we have some direction to do or to live with that, like because of there's a no answer or there's a no roadmap, like we can step,
Right.
yeah, like one by one. This is like a one step two step three. It's not like that. So all we can do it live with the intention. I think from my
Mm.
experience it's work. So like, okay, it's good to live like that. So I think that's what I'm doing now. Yeah.
Are you meeting more people like you who are bringing that same kind of spirit and attitude?
Like I'm lucky, I have the kind of beautiful social cycle, like it's very
Hmm.
small, but like we work together, we live each other, and only. But one of the funny things is only we can talk each other. So
Hmm.
it's sometimes it's so for the like other people, it's difficult to understand why we are doing what we are doing, why we are thinking. So, but like in my social cycle, we know what we are doing, I think, and then like it's good. Yeah, yeah.
Mm. Right. Now, for those listeners who are outside of Myanmar and feeling that they want to be a part of this, that they want to help, they want to be present in some way, and you've already spoken about how help has to be given in the right way. It has to be appropriate. That sometimes, if you're going to a place and you're doing is giving clean drinking water when they actually need rice, then how helpful are you being really? And so for those listeners that are tuning in that are feeling like they want to help, they want to do something, but they want it to be the right kind of help, how would you answer them?
Yeah, like that's why I have to be very careful, like we need a lot of help, that's for sure, but like kind of the panic donation, like keep donating water and um like the same thing is not the, I feel like it's not the right way, but it doesn't mean we don't need any help. It doesn't mean like that they still need a lot of help with the right way. So and then the first thing is like it would be good to have a assessment on the ground, and then like if we have a good stretcher and if we have a good focal person who can trust, and then if we can walk on the ground, that would be really helpful, like we can donate exactly what they need, so it's really helpful for both sides, so and then also the disaster is will be the long run. It's not only 1 month, it's not only 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's not like that. It will go to the long run, so we will still need a lot of help, like with the right way. So what would be the right way is I don't know exactly yet, because also for me is I'm still learning from my experience. So first we need the local person, and then we really need the local boys, and also we really need to know what they really need. We cannot count on all the time on the Facebook, that's for sure. We need to connect with the on ground. And then before we donate, then like we can have them properly. And then also that's from my like it would be good if we have something sharing experience from the people who have that kind of experience. They can also share how to manage, how to do that, how what would be the best way to reach uh, the needed place. Yeah.
Right. And so for people that are listening in, obviously money is always helpful, donating. And
Yeah.
our nonprofit, Better Burma, is very active. We're supporting many, many groups on the ground, everything from clean drinking water to the machines that break up the rubble that are able to bring to clear the rubble and bring whatever is trapped in there to as well as any number of other initiatives that ground groups are telling us that they need, that this is where the funds are going. So material is, it definitely can't be overstated and overemphasized how important it is. But that's obvious. Beyond the material benefits that people abroad can do to support you, what I want to ask you this because you've been so clear that you don't want to be seen as a victim, and that you have your own proper agency right now in what you're doing. And so the type of support you're asking for isn't this kind of pity of just giving me whatever you can so that we can get by. Um, so beyond the material support, what kind of support or solidarity would be helpful to you from an international audience now?
No. Yeah, we have a different background, a different layer, and like a different interest, and different social cycle. So I cannot represent everyone, or I still don't know exactly how the local people really need it. But like solidarity is really really helpful. For example, from my experience, when we have a good relationship with international recruiting, it's really warm. Like from my feeling, I feel like we are not alone. There's a internal political layer, internal apart from the politician. There's a lot of people, a lot of beautiful people out there in different countries. We still had kind of the sense of the human. We stay supposed with the love and compassion, something like that. That would be the really helpful. We feel not alone. We are not alone. We are not the one who are dealing alone. So I think this is it's really support for me. It's really, I feel like it's really emotionally supported. Uh, yeah, I think like that kind of solidarity will be useful for the ground as well. It's apart from the material support.
What can people do to help you feel like you're not alone?
Hmm. I don't know exactly. My friend, like they came and talk to me, and then they also share some compassion, and like a little bit they are showing the support. So that I feel I'm not alone. So in my personal level, and also for example, one of my international community, they are raising the fundraising, and then also they show like they care. You know, like if I see someone care, it's really help me, like for emotionally. It's not like oh okay, it's not show off. It's if you show really care, the feeling of care is really good. That's for my personal feeling. Yeah.
So the when the feeling of care is manifested, that has a profound
Yeah,
effect
for
on
me,
you.
but I'm not sure about. I cannot represent.
No, we're asking you. You're the only one we're talking to. You're the only one we're
Yeah,
asking.
yeah, yeah. Like if I feel like it really care, no, it's not like you are showing you are good, and it's not it's not fake. If you show you care, it's so it's me I can open and more. I can be honest with you more and more. I can share all the emotion more and more, and so this is that's it's really helpful for me for my personal feeling. So if I if if I know that is someone is really care, it's really helpful for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is different than value signaling. Value signaling where you just kind of make an indication that this I'm this type of person and I care about this type of thing, but this is a true expression of care.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the way that that foreign communities can support you, and in fact, as I've mentioned, our nonprofit Better Burma, it's collected a large number of donations from an international audience, really wanting to support the on the ground efforts, and we've urgently sent those funds to many different groups, and one of those groups have been yours, and so actually some of the listeners that this is pretty cool. Some of the people that are listening now might have actually donated money that went to you and the work that you're doing. And so I wonder if you can describe the nature of the needs assessment that you did, that you realized what was needed for that community, and then the donation that we were able to provide through our listeners and supporters that allowed you to be able to engage and to help.
Yes, now what I am doing now is like I went to the ground and then I asked them what they really need, and then I did some assessment. Then I got some list, like for example, they need a shutter, they need the engine, they need the water pan or something like that. Is the sustain, like it's not only for one week, like it's something that is something that help for the long run. So we, I connect with the donor, and then I call up the donation, and then I buy that stuff and donate to them directly. So if you would like to donate like that, we are very welcome, and I can share the some information how you can donate, and also I can promise, that donation will be right, properly where there's the needed. Yeah.
Right. That's wonderful to hear. And so just really want to emphasize to listeners that this is something that you can support. You can reach out and support our nonprofit and earmark Lily's project. And as the funds that came before that we were able to provide for her so quickly on the ground, so also people listening to this can donate and know that those funds are getting to their proper place.
Well, I've really appreciated talking to you, and I think that it's so valuable for us to get these reports and reflections of someone that's on the ground, that's able to articulate to us what they're seeing, feeling, doing, what they're hoping for, and their relations with what they're noticing from other people on the ground as well. And so I really thank you for, I know that you're going through not so easy situations of how you're living and how you're moving around, and to take time out of that, especially when communications can be challenging, and share to our wider international audience about what your experience is. I think this is incredibly valuable, and I really thank you for that.
Thank you for having me as well. I hope I will be helpful a little bit for, yeah.
Yeah, more than a little bit. And I would invite you as well, because you are speaking to an international audience, and you're also speaking to a diaspora. There are many diaspora who listen to this and feel a connection back to their homeland in hearing these voices. So I'd like to close by inviting you to share a reflection or a thought that you'd like to make sure that our wider community of listeners can come into contact with.
Yeah, we are dealing with, like you mentioned, it have been more than 4 years. We are dealing with different kind of the tragic, different kind of the operation, and different kind of the like suffering, and different kind of the struggling. We are still dealing with it, and that will be that we don't know how many years we have to go through it. It's really helpful, if the international community don't forget, and then also it will be really helpful, if we have a support from our people side, that will be really really helpful for us. Yeah, that's what I would like to. Um, yeah, that's what I would like to talk. Yeah.
thank you for being a part of this conversation and standing in solidarity with the people and stories shared here. At Insight Myanmar Podcast, solidarity is not just a word, it's the foundation of everything we do. Each voice we amplify and every story we share represents a call to stand together with those in Myanmar. And so it is through the act of listening, reflecting, and engaging that you become part of this collective effort to uphold dignity, amplify truth, and stand firm for what matters. And I should also add that all of this work is only possible because of listeners like you, who have chosen to offer a contribution. Every donation is an act of standing together, of refusing to turn away, and of reinforcing the bonds that connect us across borders and experiences. If you believe in the power of solidarity and the importance of sharing these stories, we invite you to join us by making a donation. Your support helps us to keep this platform alive and ensure that these voices continue to be heard. Visit insightmyanmar.org/donation to join us in standing with Myanmar.
Oba yarananda dayananga yaranaya dayanam boda yaranam